Welcome back to another episode of Talks Against the Grain, where we have your two hosts, Jeffton and Trutha. What's up, Trutha?
What's going on, man? I'm doing well. How
Nothing.
are you?
I'm over here chilling, ready to get to it. We got
Let's
an
go.
exciting episode today.
Yes, sir. CHH coming
Yes,
for you.
let's. We. That means we coming for you, then, man.
True. Hey, man, I'm a rapper that's a Christian, man. I ain't. Nah, I'm just playing.
You're right. I'm just the Christian that happens to rap, though.
Man,
Man, so look, let's talk about it on today's show of Talks Against the Grain. So, first topic at hand, we're going to talk about our top 5 CHH artists. And I'm going to go ahead and kick us off because me and Trutha talked a little bit prior to this episode, and I want to hear his. So, I'm going to kick mine off. Mine is almost like a given. Trutha already knows probably half of what's on my top 5. So, I'm going to just go out here. My first one is Bizzle.
okay.
Right now, 2020. That Bizzle, that Messenger 4 album is my favorite album still. Joppa sort of, I think that's how you pronounce it. I think that's getting up there. But as far as just albums, which I love so dearly, I mean, I'm definitely a hits man, a songs man. But right now, as far as albums, that Messenger 4 is still just trending super high on my top, just my top list in 2020. My second favorite artist, D1. I know he's come out with some deso music the last few years here. I think he's still going strong, and there is a certain relationship. There was a certain like rapport that I felt like we built when that fans built when they go and see these people in concerts. And if you know anything about D1's concerts, I mean, he keeps them at a right size to where it's super personal. You get to take pictures. I mean, he's got the whole VIP going on, and it's not so mainstream to the point where it's always where you gotta feel like you gotta fight to see the artist. And so he keeps it
Right.
super focused on fans and his fan base. And I think that's why, and just his music, his top, like a lot of his old mixtapes back on SoundCloud. I mean, like David, just too many songs. It's just too many just hits from past time that I can't forget about. That I know a lot of us sometimes recency bias can creep in, but once you go back to through his discography, you'll see, man, he's got some hits. He's got some hits. That's second on my list. Third on my list, this may come as a shocker to many because he's super underground, but Shy Wine. Quick Strike 2 is by far one of
Man.
my favorite albums. I just let it ride. I mean, this dude, at first, he wasn't even showing his face, or maybe I just never seen his face, but the dude was like super anonymous, but he just kept spitting facts and truth. And, you know, I think that he comes clean when he needs to. And his newest album, he had some hits on there that I liked, but I think it was because of where he was at in his life. I think he just found a woman. You know how that your music changed when you got a woman on your side, so he was making sort of some music directed towards her. But once he gets settled in, I'm gonna be waiting for another clean. He's making beats right now. He's doing a lot of like short film type of things. And he asked his fan base what they want to hear. I'm like, man, we want the old Shy Wine, man. I love the short films. I love the like animated films. I love I love what's happening in your life. But man, I want Quick Strike 2 again. So that's third on my list. Fourth on my list, No Big Deal. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. No
Nah,
Big
that's it.
Deal. What is it? The lowercase tape. Just that is masterpiece. And just obviously his old stuff, all the stuff he's featured in. I mean, that dude is just gifted. What is the before lowercase tape was Colossal or something like that? I know Colossal was a song on his
Was it
album. I don't know
Solar?
if that was the name of it.
Yeah,
Solar,
Solar.
Solar, Solar. Just crazy stuff. And just even to see him come out with his numbers and stuff, I'm not the only one listening to that dude. A lot of good stuff on on his discography. That's fourth on my list, and then fifth, I would be ashamed if I didn't put your boy on there, Trutha
What?
B. If you know anything about this, bro, Trutha B.
Hey.
That's what I call him. You all know him as Trutha, but Trutha B had to crack the top 5 because of the many memories we have dating all the way back to 2015 or so.
Man,
So gotta put
2013,
Trutha B on there.
2012.
And just to see your evolution too is quite amazing too. I get to see, your producing side, your lyrical side. I get to see all of that, and definitely you've evolved and should be on people's radar. So if you haven't heard of this dude, please go check him out on
Man, follow
Spotify.
me at Truth the Raps, man. Check me out. Nah, I appreciate that. I can't even lie. You threw me off guard, man, because I'm over here trying to set up my game plan for going at your top 5, man. I'm gonna have to come at myself, man. That's dirty, bro. I feel like you did that.
What
So
you think about my top 5, man?
Okay, so let me give my top 5 and explain where your top 5 comes short. But like I said, you made your concessions, man. You came up with a couple concessions. So I'm gonna go a little bit easy on you because you threw me on there, and I'm gonna go easy on you because you personalized some of these. So I can't knock it. But so I'm gonna show you. Mine is top 5, not in order. So I don't know the exact order of it, but if you put me to the fire, I can give the order. But so the first person that's on my top 5 that we both agree with is Bizzle. I mean, Bizzle just consistent, and he's consistent in his lane, and he's been able to really build up a really dope following and a really dope group in God Over Money. But yeah, you right on the money. He continues to drop heat. It's real introspective. It's real, man. I still can't get over the song he dropped where like he was just talking about like, road rage and like allowing yourself, to get in your feelings and all that stuff, and like how just one bad decision, like, man, that song was crazy. And the visual of like him going into like, if he had actually reacted to his anger, if he actually had acted on that anger, how it could have led to just this crazy chain effect, and how all the different scenarios would play out. Like that video was just like, to me, that it got like under discussed. I feel like it went way under the radar how like powerful of a song that was. And I don't feel like Bizzle gets nearly the level of his flowers that he should get. So we finna give it right here. So both of us agree on that. Another artist that I feel like I almost forgot about, but he just released, and I'm like, no, he has to be on the top 5 because he's just way too good. And that's Andy Mineo. I had to throw Andy Mineo on the list because he just simply puts out the highest quality of music just about every time he drops. It's always the highest quality. It's always the most creative. It's always innovative. It's never the same sound that you hear everybody else doing. He always finds a way to add to his bag and pull from like that creativity that God has given him. But man, it's always different. And I feel like not enough people do what he does creatively. And so I had to throw Andy on there. I got KB on the list. I have to throw KB on there because KB for the last 2 years, arguably, if I had to number these, KB is at the number 1 spot. If I'm being honest, like it's hard for me to find a rapper that raps that consistently puts out songs at the quality level that he puts them out, but then also just straight fire and just able to flow into different cadences, and it's modern music. So he's not like putting out like just a dated sound. It's like modern. It's really got all of the modern influences, and man, he's really carving out a niche in trap worship, like really doing it in a way that's like, it might be more contemporary for some, but it's crazy, man. It's dope. The only person that's been really able to pull that off, and he doesn't even come from the CHH community, and that was Chance the Rapper, of putting Christian songs on multiple songs and people really vibe with it. But KB was able to do it really well, and I feel like he had like several good songs, and even before his project, he had like bangers. Like he had Hold Me Back, he had No Chains. I mean, just over the last few years, and then even the album before was crazy. So KB, if I have to number it, he's number 1. we both so the next person we both agree with, and that's No Big Deal. I was hoping, I just knew you weren't gonna put No Big Deal on this. So I was gonna light you up, but once I heard you say No Big Deal, I was like, okay, this list is respectful. This is a respectful list. So we both agree on No Big Deal, and for the same reasons. I don't even have to go into. He just dope, and he's
just cold.
He's lyrical, but he can do it all pretty much. Like, he can really go into his lyrical bag where he really can write up some crazy verses, but then he can kind of go into his more like mixtape type of feel, like that. He give you that early Lil Wayne type of vibes, and he's nothing like Lil Wayne, but he give you that type of energy. The way he approached that lowercase tape, it really kind of brought you back to that time, that mixtape era, which was fire. I mean, they went crazy. They like him, all the features he had, just a good project. Number 5, and this is the guy that I'm throwing in there because I feel like he consistently goes under the radar, and I felt like his latest project completely went under the radar, and I was actually disappointed that more people didn't give this album spin, because it's a crazy good album. Production is like it's just fire, and that's John Keith. I feel like people completely underrate John Keith, and it's kind of like, I thought after Olympus, whatever he released to follow that would just really take off, and I don't feel like it did to the extent that it should have. And I don't know what it was. I feel like the marketing and everything was there, but I don't know. I just don't know if it was because of the pandemic throwing things off as far as people was listening. But whoever was watching this, I ask that you go back and listen to Anti-Hero from start to finish. Just let that play out, and whether it be in the whip, whether it be in your janky Beats by Dre or whatever the heck you listen to music in, go and play that and tell me that album doesn't bang and it doesn't have like a level of depth to it. So that's my top 5. And what I'm going to challenge in your top 5, and I'm going to pass it to you, is